Santoso with NIM 33.6A.07, and today I want to present about topic part 1. The topic that I choose is effective communication with students. Please enjoy introduction. Why communication is key. Communication in the classroom is more than just talking. It is about connection. Communication in the classroom is not only about speaking or giving instruction, it is also about building connection, understanding, and trust between teachers and students. Effective communication has several important benefits. The first one is create a safe, supportive, and exclusive learning environment where students feel comfortable expressing themselves. Second, increase students' engagement and motivation. Good communication can increase student engagement and motivation. When students feel heard and understood, they become more active in learning. The third one is minimize misunderstanding and behavioral disruption. Clear explanation and respectful conversation can prevent many problems. And lastly, effective communication builds mutual trust between teachers and students. Trust is important because it creates a positive and healthy classroom atmosphere. So overall, communication is the key to successful teaching and learning. There are three pillars of classroom communication. The three pillars of classroom communication is A. Verbal communication, what we say. Clarity. Use simple language and provide specific step-by-step instruction. And second, positive phrasing. Focus on what students should do rather than what they are forbidden to do. Instead of don't run, but you can also say please walk slowly in halfway. Third, tone of voice. A calm, firm, and steady tone is much more effective than shouting. B. Nonverbal communication or body language. And the first thing you should do is make eye contact. Show that you are attentive, caring, and in control. Second, proximity. Move around the room or use the power walk to show your presence and support rather than staying behind the desk. And third is gesture and facial expression. A simple smile can significantly lower a student's anxiety levels. C. Active learning, or the silent part of communication. Listening isn't just waiting for your turn to speak. It's about validating a student's feeling and understanding their perspective. Critical communication strategy. Okay, now I will explain the first communication strategy. Strategy 1. Active listening and paraphrasing. When a student speaks, repeat what they said in your own words to ensure you understand. This strategy means we truly listen to what someone is saying, then repeat the meaning using our own words to make sure we understand correctly. Why is this important? Because sometimes students may feel misunderstood or ignored. By listening carefully and paraphrasing, we can make them feel heard and respect. And for the example is, if a student says they are confused, instead of directly responding, we can say, so what you are saying is that you're frustrated because the structure were a bit confusing. Isn't that right? This response shows empathy and helps avoid misunderstanding. In conclusion, active listening helps create better communication, stronger trust, and a more comfortable learning environment. And the second strategy is the use of I message. I message allows you to express your feelings without blaming or attacking the students. I messages are used to express our feelings without blaming. Usually, when people are angry, they use you messages, such as "You are being so noisy. It's annoying." This sounds harsh and can make students defensive. Instead, we can use I message, like, "I find it difficult to explain the lesson when it's loud in here. I would appreciate if everyone could Haha, dua, tiga. I would appreciate if everyone could be quiet for a moment." This sounds more polite, respectful, and professional. Using I message helps reduce conflict and encourage positive communication in the classroom. Number 3 is constructive feedback, or the sandwich method. Now I will explain the third strategy, which is constructive feedback using the sandwich method. This method is called the sandwich method because the feedback is organized like a sandwich. Positive comments, constructive suggestions, then positive encouragement again. There are 3 steps. First, start with something positive. For example, "I love the effort you put into this essay." Second, give construction feedback or suggestion for improvement. For example, "Next time, try to organize your paragraph more clearly." And the third one is end with encouragement. For example, "Great job overall, keep it up." This method is effective because it helps students accept feedback without feeling discouraged. Overall, constructive feedback motivates students to improve while still feeling appreciated. Overcoming communication barriers. Avoid these common pitfalls that shut down communication. And the first one is labeling. Avoid calling students the lazy one or the troublemaker. Labels create self-fulfilling prophecy. And 2, sarcasm. Sarcasm can damage a student's self-esteem and destroy the teacher-student bond. And third one is consistency. Saying one thing but doing another creates confusion and a lack of respect. Here are some tips for daily interaction. And the first tips that I'm gonna explain is greeting at the door. Greet every student by name as they enter. It's the easiest way to build a personal connection. Wait time. After asking a question, wait 3 or seconds, 5 seconds before calling on someone. This gives students time to process information. And third is check for understanding. Regularly ask simple questions to make sure students understand the lesson. Encourage them to ask questions if they are confused. The third tip is check for understanding. Teachers should ask simple questions during the lesson to make sure students really understand the material. This also helps students feel more confident to ask questions when they are confused. And to conclude, effective communication is a two-way street. A great teacher is not just a great orator, but a great listener. When students feel heard and understood, they are more likely to respect the teacher and succeed academically. Now, moving on, I will explain the project number 2. Let's start study case. Study case number 1. Problem. Mr. Elazar, disengagement and distraction in fact. Logical argumentation. The issue here is likely related to classroom organization or physical arrangement by monitoring proximity. Students in the back feel invisible, which encourages them to play with objects or shut out. And for the solution here is to modify classroom arrangement. Mr. Elazar should change the seating from traditional rows to a U shape or circle for discussion. This eliminates the back of the room and ensures every student is in the front line of the conversation. And second is proximity control. Instead of leading the discussion from the standing near the disruptive students while in continuing the lesson, usually stop the behavior without a word or nonverbal communication. And the third is engagement strategy. Implement a talking token or random caller system to ensure those in the back are held accountable for participating rather than just the eager students in the front. Case number 2. Stefano, provocative, sarcastic, and seeking attention. Logical argumentation. Stefano is displaying power-seeking and attention-seeker behavior. By responding with exaggerated courtesy, he is trying to win the social interaction in front of his peers. If Miss Jandra gets angry, Stefano wins because he controlled her emotion. So the solution that I found is use I message. Avoid you message. Example, you are being rude. Instead, Miss Chandra should say, I feel frustrated when my instructions are interrupted because it slows down the lesson for everyone. I need you to listen quietly. And the second one is private confrontation. Avoid disciplining Stefano in front of the class as he feeds on the delight of the other students. Speak to him privately in the hallway or after class, without an audience. His charming grin loses its power. And the third is diffuse sarcasm with bugging. When he makes a sarcastic remark, Miss Chandra should acknowledge it briefly without getting defensive, and then immediately react back to the lessons. Do not engage in a power struggle. Case number 3. Problem. Miss Shahexkelia, bickering, yelling, and shoving. And the logical argumentation in here is this class has a breakdown in social climate and cooperation. The students have not been taught how to resolve conflicts or work together, leading to a hostile environment. And the solution in here is teaching students to cooperate. Miss Shehkiela needs to stop the academic lesson temporarily to hold a class meeting. She should establish clear ground rules for communication. Example, no name calling and no touching. And the second is conflict resolution training. Teach the students how to use active listening. When two students bicker, have them reflect what the other person said before they are allowed to respond. This lowers the emotional heat. And the third is the structured group activities. Use cooperative learning structures where students are depend on one another to achieve a goal. Assigning specific role, leader, checker, recorder, helps channel their energy into tasks rather than bickering. Fourth, immediate de-escalation. Since it has reached physical shoving, Mr. Hezekiah must implement a cool-down protocol where students are separated immediately when voices rise, before the physical shoving begins. And that's all my presentation about project part 1 and part 2. Thank you for your attention, Miss.